Hi there, this is Bibi Cameron. Welcome to a new video. I hope you are doing well and stay safe. Today I'm going to be sharing a super duper easy card making idea using Laurel Leaves Die Set by Simon Says Stamp. One of the main features of this card is also the treatment I have applied to the paper using Rustic Wilderness, the new distress ink colors. So I'm going to use 300 grams cold pressed watercolor paper and I'm going to cover this with the ink. What I want here, or my aim, is to be ultra messy. I don't want to fully cover the paper. I want the paper to look very distressed, and the most texture I can achieve, the better. So that was Rustic Wilderness Oxide. And now I'm going to use this one here. I'm going to apply the pad directly on the paper, and you can see that the color is a lot more vibrant and is very similar than the other one if I diluted with water. So as you see there, you can apply the ink on the paper in different ways. And the next thing I'm going to do is to use the ink over the glass mat to splatter this paper, and I'm also going to use a speckled egg stain to spray the paper a little bit. I dry this up using the heat tool, and then I'm going to spray crackle camphor just a little bit, just like that. I dry this, and then I'm going to add some gold splatters, and I'm using here Perfect Pearls. And you might not notice there, but the paper shine is really beautiful. To finish, I like to splatter something dark and something light on the paper. So I'm going to be using dark shades of Nuvo Aquaflow pens, but you can use inks or anything you can blend with water. Then I splatter the paper also with acrylic paint. In this case, you can also use any other white paint you might have. And this is the paper I'm going to be die cutting today. You can do a similar thing using different colors for flowers or for anything else. It really makes a difference. So the next thing you have to do is to die cut this beautiful paper you just made. And I'm going to be using Laurel Leaves Die Set by Simon Says Stamp. These dies are stunning. They create a beautiful debossed image on the paper, and it also cut the leaves in some areas. So the leaves looks absolutely beautiful. I really like Simon Says Stamp dies like these ones because they are very versatile. So in this opportunity, I want to create a wreath. You can use 5 leaves to create a 6.5 inches wreath, or 6 leaves to create an even larger wreath. You can make this really big, even a wreath for your door. But today I want to make it the smaller possible to fit in a 6 by 6 inches card. So I'm going to use 4 leaves. I'm going to use press and seal to keep the die cuts in place, and then I'm going to use Nuvo Deluxe adhesive to adhere the leaves, because I feel that the area in which I'm gluing this together is so narrow. I'm going to use little pieces of paper just to kind of reinforce that area there. Then you have to allow the glue to dry and remove the press and seal. And your wreath is done. Because I want this to be more substantial, I want to add more die cuts. So you can use the smaller die cuts that this die set creates, just like that. And I was kind of experimenting, and I say, okay, this is okay. It will look fantastic if these were made in brown colors or even gold, but no, so I want something different. Then I grab 3 of the same leaves and I just add them on this wreath like I'm showing there. I also wanted to add some dimension to this. I added a couple of dimensional pads at the end of the leaves just to secure them in place, like so. I decided that I wanted more leaves on this. Of course, this is optional and you can play with this. I think that this might look fantastic in silver with some white or some vellum. It will look fantastic. But I also wanted to use the new distress in colors. So I added a couple of small leaves as well, and I'm going to bring my card base here. Then is when you are going to notice if there is gaps to fill on the wreath. So I need to add a couple of extra leaves, and that's okay for me. I don't want this to be super heavy neither. So I'm going to create some flowers. I don't have a tiny mini poinsettia, but I think that a poinsettia will look fantastic. I'm going to use what I have, and I'm going to splatter this paper with water just to add a little bit of texture. And I'm going to die cut a bunch of these little flowers. This is very easy and quick as well. And I'm going to cut also a bow. So I'm going to use here a couple of dies from a Honeybee Stamps die set. This is called Nail Polish Bottle, and it has this little bow, but you can use any other bow die. I'm going to list some small bow dies in the video description for you. And I'm going just to put this together. It's super simple, just like that. And there is the other small die cut is the little belt or the little band that goes in the bow here. So I made a couple of bows because I wasn't sure if I want to add one bow or two bows at that stage. I just like to have things there ready for my projects. And I decided that I wanted to add a tail to the bow, so I used a very old die, and I didn't use that old die to make this because it's not available anymore, and because it's also super tiny. This bow here measures 1 inch and a half, more or less. So I also shaped the flowers, and I overlapped the flowers like so, and I made several of them just to embellish the wreath. And from here, the sky is the limit. You can add so many things to this little wreath. I even thought that I could add tiny mini pine cones from the craft shop, but I decided against it because some people might not be able to find them. I'm going to use this sentiment here. It's also made using a Simon's stamp die, and I'm going to embellish using gold fashion embellishments. So remember that this is just a sample. The sky is the limit. You can use any leaf die that you might have. It's important that the die or the die cut has a curve or circular or round shape. And this card measures 6 inches by 6 inches. I have here a smaller card. This is a C6 American Standard card base that measures 4 inches and a quarter by 5 inches and a half. And I use different supplies, but the same little flowers and the same leaves. And I also use that beautiful deer that is called Picture Book Deer by Simon Says Stamp. All the supplies are in the video description for you. Here I made something different, and I die cut a heart-shaped window, and I stick the laurel leaves around it. So the sky is literally the limit. That's all for today. I hope you enjoyed this video. Do not forget to subscribe to my channel or to visit my blog for more ideas and inspiration. I share on my blog a lot more card ideas that I could ever share here in my channel. But here I have some pictures of the last week blog post. There is a lot of cute ideas for your projects and to get crafty with different supplies. So thank you very much for watching and happy crafting. Bye.